Hey everyone. Or producer and artist.
But it's
Hi. Drop a like. Our God is an awesome God. Sarah McBride talks about trans issues.
Potential operations, and some Israeli officials have said and told us on this program that they do have some other. There's been discussion of a lot of different potential operations, and some Israeli officials have said and told us on this program that they do have some other methods that could be employed. James, as you look at this situation, and you've worked closely, obviously, with presidents in the past, your thoughts on the importance of this moment and how you think President Trump is going about the decision?
Well, if he says he wants 2 weeks, if he takes 2 weeks, great. Take another 2 months. You know, I'm old enough to remember 2002 when this network and everybody else was beating war drums as loud as you could beat war drums, and that there was every evidence of weapons of mass destruction. Of course, it turned out to be a giant lie. And I think before you engage a country with 92 million... I don't know, but I do know that the government lied to me profoundly 22 years ago. That I do know. Why would I trust this government?
We just heard from, I don't know if you heard, we just heard from David Albright, who's probably one of the most premier experts in this area, who said, this is absolutely not Iraq. He follows Iran's nuclear program very closely, and he said there's so much evidence. The IAEA has their own evidence about how far along they are.
You're free to beat the war drums as loud as you want to.
I'm not beating any war drums. I'm just reporting the facts.
Excuse me for speaking while you interrupt.
I'm pretty sure Israel's intelligence is the one that told America that Iran has nukes.
A very familiar deadline to make what could be a legacy-defining decision. 2 weeks. That's how long the White House says the world may have to wait to learn whether or not the United States military will join the fight between Israel and Iran.
I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks."
The weight of deciding whether or not to commit to military action is obviously a serious.
2 weeks. Dude, when Trump ended the war in Ukraine, that was baller, bro. That was baller. When Trump ended the war in Gaza, that was also baller, bro. It took him 1 day. 1 day, and all the wars are gone, bro. When Trump said we're going to no longer be in the Middle East, that was based, too. That was awesome. When Trump said we were going to have a 180 trade deals in 90 days, that was based. Although we have zero still. We have 0 trade deals. When Trump said he was going to do anything and did not do it, based. Honestly, dude, Trump being so popular without literally doing anything at all for anyone is really a pretty impressive thing. You can't argue with that. So be it. So be it. So be it. So be it. Nice. Okay, so I saw a little bit of this earlier, but I wanted to go into it more. I will take calls during this reaction. Theo Vaughn had Ro Khanna on the show, and with young men in America, they get their opinions from podcasts, from Theo Vaughn, from Joe Rogan. And Democrats need to go on these spaces. They need to go on these platforms. They can't find men where they're at if men are learning really bad ideologies and terrible things about the world. And I think Ro Khanna does a really good job here showing how you can move someone to your positions without being super aggressive and turning them off. Because I think Democrats turn people off way too much. And I think Ro Khanna does a really, really, really good job here.
California, we've got some new tour dates for you. I'll be in Los Angeles on August 14th at the Dolby
put it at 1.25 speed.
Theater. Anaheim on the August 16th at the Honda Center, and Oceanside on August 17th at Front Wave Arena. Get your tickets early this Thursday, June 19th with code RATKING, 10 a.m. local time. General on sale begins Friday, June 20th. Get your tickets only at theovon.com/TOUR. Please avoid any scalper sites. And thank you so much. This is the Return of the Rat Tour. Almost over. I promise it's almost over. And thank you guys so much for all the support. Today's guest is a United States congressman from California's 17th district. That is Silicon Valley. He's from Philadelphia. His parents immigrated from India. He worked with Bernie Sanders.
So one big thing Ro Khanna does in this interview. So Theo Von is good friends with Mike Johnson and Donald Trump and all these different MAGA guys. So Ro Khanna does not say these people are evil. Ro Khanna brings up issues Theo Von cares about, and he says, hey, Theo, I want to expand healthcare and block pharmaceutical companies from screwing people over. And I think Mike Johnson should put that to the floor for a vote. And Theo can say, like, well, I like Mike Johnson, but I mean, he's in control right now. I care about this issue. And Mike Johnson, you got to bring this to the floor for a vote. And then when Theo Von will ask Mike Johnson about why he does not bring it to a vote to block pharmaceutical companies from exploiting Americans, then they can have a personal rift form right there. Okay. And that's how you sort of lead people in this direction. If you go up saying that Mike Johnson is evil, Trump is evil, and whatever, no one's going to listen to you. But if you show people an issue-based reasoning system and formula for coming to that conclusion on their own, that Mike Johnson is a bad person, then there's a much higher likelihood they will actually change their opinions. And Ro Khanna does this really good with Theo Von. So I want everyone to pay attention to what Ro Khanna does rhetorically.
His co-chair on Sanders' presidential campaign in 2020. I'm grateful for his time. He's a member of the Democratic Party. Today's guest is Congressman Ro Khanna.
I'm going to make sure I pause every now and then and change my screen a little bit to make sure I don't get any copyright infringement. I don't want to steal content. I want to be transformative within legal fair use, obviously.
Ro Khanna, is that right?
That's right. Perfect.
Nice. Thank you for coming in today, man. Thanks for meeting up and just being willing to come and chat. You are Indian. Your family is Indian?
Indian heritage, yeah.
Okay.
My parents immigrated from India. My grandfather, actually, Amarnath Vidyalankar, spent years in jail fighting for India's independence as part of Gandhi's independence movement. And then my parents came and settled in Philadelphia. That's where I was born.
Do a lot of Indian people, is it, you know, some places in America are certain like kind of spots where people start to come. Is that a pop?
That's really interesting too when you start off an interview like, so you're Indian. What do you say? So you're black, so you're white. It's really interesting. I mean, it shows curiosity on Theo's part. So I think liberals might get offended here. But Theo, I think he's being pretty genuine and curious. What do you guys think in chat?
Popular place that a lot of Indian people have gone to over the years?
You know, where I grew up in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, there were a few Indian families, but it was 99%
Bucks
white.
County, Pennsylvania.
The bigger places
What's
are New
going on?
Jersey. Have you ever been to Edison, New Jersey?
I don't think so.
Edison, it's got a lot of Indian food. Have you eaten Indian food?
Oh yeah, I've had some good Indian food.
What's your favorite dish?
I think it's like the one, it's like where you all sit in a circle and everybody kind of like catches a cold together or whatever that was.
Catches a cold.
No, I just mean like everybody's like kind of sharing off of the
Yeah,
same
it is a
plate.
very sure thing.
Yeah.
You got to come to Fremont sometime in
Okay.
California. That's the best Indian food in the country. But Fremont, Silicon Valley, a lot of Indian families, New York, New Jersey. You know, but my upbringing was interesting because I was one of the few Indian kids growing up.
White guy Jolah, we are under attack in America, white men. You are under attack. I'm under attack. Okay, white men. White men right now, dude. White men have never had it good in American history. All right, white men were held in slavery. White men were unable to own property. White men could never vote in America. We are under attack constantly, bro.
Up in
Ask more
Pennsylvania.
questions.
And, you know, I grew up, though, with a lot of people teachers who believed in me, Little League coaches who believed in me. At times I would get teased being Indian, but by and large, it made me very hopeful about the country.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks. I know we wanted to talk about. I'm trying to think. I actually wrote some questions down today because I feel like
Oh
it's.
wow!
I feel like it's important.
This is like Meet the Press. You got
Oh.
you're on a different level. I thought, the thing I love about your show is it's kind of just you talking like a regular person.
Maybe you're right. Should I put these away, you think?
Okay, so giving Theo credit for talking like a regular person. I like how Theo brings out the iPad here, by the way. I've never seen Joe Rogan prepare for anything at all or care about the world, actually care about people. Joe Rogan only cares about friendships. Now, Theo's actual opinions go against everyone he is friends with, like Mike Johnson and Trump, but he likes Mike Johnson and Trump. Remember, people think first with their brains and their emotions before they think with their logic. So you need to remember that. And Ro Khanna is going to keep on complimenting. He's going to compliment Theo here, okay, over and over and over again. And win Theo's audience over as well. Ro Khanna does so good here, dude. I don't know if anyone's going to understand how good Ro Khanna actually executes. Just like a conversation, just having a conversation. And liberals want to not crowdfund. They want to raise a bunch of money and run like a anthropological study on men in America and focus group every single. Just have a conversation, bro. Just be chill.
I mean, no, you can give it a try. I mean,
I think because you know why? I think this is what I realized. I was like, man, sometimes I have conversations with people that I want to be able to get more information from, and I can't remember everything, right?
But you know what the thing about you is, I'm not saying this to flatter you. A lot of times you'll ask questions, and they're like deeper and smarter than some of the Sunday talk show hosts. And I think it's because you actually talk to real people. And it's sort of like, well, how does this affect my buddy? How does this affect real people? So you could give it a try with the...
Appealing to populism, okay? Appealing to populism. I see you, Ro Khanna. Populist. You're better than the Sunday interviewers. By the way, Theo Von probably is better than the Sunday interviewers. Like, the state of TV journalism is actually insanely terrible right now.
Do a mix. How about this? I know how we got in touch is you and I have like similar thoughts on different topics online, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's just start with Iran or Iran. People say it differently, but do you think we're headed into World War III here? What do you think's going on?
I'm really concerned. I'm fearful. We have a possibility where we're going to blunder into another war in the Middle East. And just today, actually, to make some news, Thomas Massey, who's a principled Republican, and myself introduced a war powers resolution saying that the president should not get into a war with Iran without coming to Congress. The president, to his credit, ran against the war in Iraq. He ran saying, I don't want any wars. And the reality is that if we strike Iran, they start hitting us back and hitting our troops in the Middle East, terrorist activity. That's going to cost this country a lot of money that should be being spent here at home. It's going to mean people could die.
Another populist argument, money should be spent here at home. So I think we need to spend money on foreign relationships and treaties and all that kind of stuff. We should not spend money on war. We should spend money on preventing war. Now, when people say we need to spend the money back at home, usually they're disingenuous. So if a Republican says that, Mike Johnson wants to use all the money in America to give to the top 1% and all the rich people. So he is not legitimately concerned about that at all. He does not want to use money back at home. He wants to use money to give his donors more money. All right, he wants to use all the money we're spending abroad to give his donors money. That's a completely different position from Ro Khanna. Ro Khanna actually does support things like some type of universal health care, like limiting campaign contributions from big donors. So Ro Khanna actually backs up his speech. I disagree with him and his angle on some topics, but at least he has an actual angle that makes some sense.
Who are serving the country.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's take a look at this, at the bill. You guys are...
Someone said, Mike Johnson wants to do that. You think Mike Johnson wants to do that, bro? What kind of shit do you eat every night, dude? You got to eat some cereal, you need vitamins, multivitamins. Your brain is not functioning properly at all. And I'm really scared that you're going to really hurt yourself by walking into a wall repeatedly because you're so stupid. You have no sense of direction or your place in the world. Obviously, since you're stuck in my chat being a little commentator. Chill out.
As we're thinking about, what is it called?
It's called the War Powers Resolution to stop a war in Iran, which basically says before the president does anything to go into war with Iran, he's got to get a vote in Congress.
And how long does that take, though? Like usually to get a vote in Congress? Like, is there a certain period of time? Like, can they do it in 24 hours? It takes weeks or what?
They could. It's the decision of the Speaker of the House to when he can bring it. He has to bring it within 15 days. But what we want is today. But by the way, there are a lot of Trump supporters who are telling him, don't go into this war. Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, Dave Smith was talking about it. He's he's a comedian who also talks a lot about politics, I think this is a horrible idea, and yeah, people say, well, you don't know a ton about the Middle East. I'm like, that's fine. I don't want people I know.
Yeah, you can call now. I'll call you back.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach.
Oh my goodness, dude. Call again. Stinky. Universal healthcare is a pipe dream. Nobody wants to pay for the majority to not get sick. Well, apparently every single country that does it, Australia, Canada, and Europe, they live on average like 10 years longer than Americans do. So keep on sucking, asshole. I'm sorry you want bad things for Americans. You want to spend all our money on giving tax cuts to the rich and war because you hate America. Just be honest, brother. Hello? Howdy.
You're on the stream, right?
Yep.
Alright. So, why do you not support Trump?
Why do you support Trump?
Because I don't know. I just like Trump better.
You know what? That's everyone's argument, to be honest. People pretend they have reasons to vote Trump, but they really don't have anything grounded in actual fact or logic. I appreciate the call. You seem a little young for the stream, though.
Call from.
Hello.
How are we doing today?
Doing all right. How are you?
So I had a question, and this was an honest question. What would have been different with Biden?
So, with what issue?
With everything.
Oh, by the way, can you pause my stream in the background?
Yeah, absolutely, brother. So explain to me how things are going to be different with Biden, just from the top. So when he got in office, what was going to change?
So with trade policy, for example, the Chips and Science Act actually works. Trump's tariff plan
So what's wrong
makes
with the
zero
trade,
logical
though?
sense at all. With what?
What's wrong with the trade? First off, you just started off saying trade.
Yeah, so like Trump's plan
That's
for trade
what's wrong
is
with
really
America is trade.
No, I'm saying like issue by issue. So you said how would it be different? So Biden had an actual plan to bring manufacturing to America. Trump is making us lose manufacturing and breaking up our relationships globally. Biden had a good plan for that. Even if Biden was, I think Biden was old. I think Biden, by the way, I think Biden was very unhealthy and should never have been running again. Even in 2020, I think it was unhealthy.
Yeah,
but
think
the
it was kind
policies,
of a joke.
like the Chips and Science Act, is a million times better than anything Trump has ever talked about with trade.
I will say this though. I come from a place called Rome, New York. Have you ever heard of it?
Rome, yeah.
Did you know that Trump visited Rome, New York?
I don't. What year?
2016. It's on my wall. And in
Nice.
2020.
Yeah, he visited.
And he
a
was
lot
the
of those
only
areas.
president ever to come to Rome, New York.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of Trump, that's
And
good.
the thing is, though, the thing is, my grandfather worked in Trump Tower. He was the master plumber there. His name was Wesley Albright. His plaque is still on the wall. He got to meet Trump personally. And you know what he said? The one thing he said, he's exactly like he is on the TV. He's the same fucking guy.
Okay.
I mean, what you see is what you get.
You said
as
your
far
grandfather
as
was a
Biden
plumber?
is concerned, I'm just saying this. It's more or less you're not seeing anything and you're not getting anything.
Your grandfather was a plumber?
Yes, he was.
I'm happy you're carrying out your family tradition, still cleaning Trump's pipes out to this very day. It's really good.
Is that?
But yeah.
Wait.
No.
I just want to. I thought this was like going to be a friendly debate. I can be.
It is.
Kinda
it is
snarky
friendly. It
too.
is very friendly. It is
okay.
friendly.
Okay.
You
Don't
say
want to
one-liners.
get me in the
You can say
evisceration path
one-liners.
here.
No, you could say one-liners.
Okay. I don't want to though. I want to talk about the issues here. Anyways, so Rome, Utica 315 area. Okay. What is the area code of New York City?
Okay, are we going to talk about issues or about like area codes and stuff and about personal stories? And
I
so I don't really know.
I'm
If this,
I'm
how does this
getting
tie
to
into the
issues.
conversation? Okay, just like get to the
I
issue
know,
then.
but okay. Here's another thing.
Tell your story.
I don't need to tell my story. I'm trying to figure out what's going to be better with Biden. So the trade was going to be better, and
trade much better.
He was going to. So what? Minimum wage was going to go up. My life was going to be better. I was going to stop drinking. My girlfriend was going to get back with me.
I mean, okay, wait. Did you start?
I'm just
drinking
trying
and
to
did your
figure
girlfriend
everything
leave?
out here.
Did that happen?
What's that? No, I don't have any kids and I don't have a girlfriend. I'm 33 years old.
Okay. Do you
and
drink
I'm
too much?
30 days
Do you wanna
sober,
stop
so that's
drinking?
pretty
No,
good
okay.
too.
Well, that's good. That's good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So like Biden with negotiating drug prices, he actually got some stuff done on that issue. I mean, it might not affect you. All the stuff he did might not affect you.
I don't think it affected
the country
anybody.
As a whole
I quite
was
frankly,
stronger.
I really don't.
Well, like total
this.
manufacturing, it's hard. Okay, just one thing. It's really hard to make cases for Biden because the only things he did good were policy wonk stuff that does not appeal to emotion.
The whole thing about it is then there is no case at all then because Biden was your only other bet. You had Kamala Harris and you had
realize,
Biden.
Like when you say this, you're saying like Trump is an entertainer. He appeals to emotions and he can get people on his side. Biden could not do that. And I'm saying Biden did policies that worked. And Biden was unpopular because
Biden
he was old
never
and falling
president.
apart.
First off,
okay. Well, regardless, Trump's not really president right now. Stephen Miller, even Trump himself says Stephen Miller runs everything. You judge administrations. The Biden administration had actual plans to do things. Trump's administration, the big beautiful bill is the worst budget bill in American history, and Trump's trade policy is the worst trade policy in American history. Like it's just factual since 1929. So like, there's nothing really good.
So what do you when you wake up in the morning? How does that affect your day?
So like when we think about politics, it's not going to be a day-to-day thing. These are 5 and 10 year
investments. It's not going to be. How many years is it going to take then?
So for a factory to be built, usually 4 to 5 years for a factory. So
no, just for all the trade to be seeing it for my day-to-day basis when I wake up and I open my drawer and I get my underwear out and I get my.
You're talking about branding, though. You're talking about branding. A lot of these changes in.
No, I'm talking about how the presidential and how all politics is actually going to affect me, whether it's Trump, whether it's Kamala Harris. Whether it's anything. How is it even going to pigeonhole and even affect any of me or you?
It depends what you care about. What issues do you care about?
I honestly don't really care about any of that.
Okay, then this is why Trump won. People that don't care that much about values and about
That's
principles
what I'm trying to figure out what you care about.
I care about people having access to health care. I care about people being treated.
People have perfect
access
to health care. You get free health care. I don't.
What? Free
How
healthcare?
do they not
Where?
have access to health care?
Where's free healthcare at?
I have it myself.
Congratulations.
Okay, so
I don't know what to tell you. If you have no issues you care about, then obviously I can't really tell you what.
No, I do. I'm trying to figure out how.
Okay, what issues do you care about? We can talk about different issues.
Okay, well,
that
you can talk until your face turns blue, but it doesn't change anything.
Well, tell me what you want me to answer. Bring up a thing that affects your life and policy.
I'm trying to get to it. If you would let me get a word in.
Yeah, I'm letting you talk a lot.
You're not.
Actually.
You're still speaking right now as I'm talking.
Okay, baby girl.
Okay, all right, kiddo. Here's what's going to happen here. You're on YouTube. And you're currently talking to somebody who doesn't give a quarter of a fuck, let alone an entire fuck. Okay? And the bottom line is, nothing was going to fucking change with Kamala Harris on your thumb. Nothing was going to change with Biden on your pointer finger. Nothing's changing with Trump on your middle finger. And nothing's going to change if you get any comedian or anybody else that you desire as president or anybody in the office.
If you don't care about if you don't care about any policies or anything at all,
no, I do care. I'm trying to understand how this is going to affect us on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, but tell me what things you care about. And
let me finish what the fuck I'm saying, buddy. You're taking up airspace. Okay, you're live streaming on YouTube.
Yeah,
right?
True. I am. I'm doing that currently. Yes.
And you're talking about politics at midnight. It's in New York, and we're debating about all this shit. And me and you, I could probably play the drums in your band, or whatever the case may be. We'd get along. If we never even mentioned politics, what does it even matter? I'm trying to understand. At the end of the day, what the fuck does it matter? Like it's oversaturated. There's enough bullshit that I don't even understand what's the point. I'm trying to figure out the actual the point to it all, the finality
it's just like
of it all.
If you're in a sad position in life and you don't really want to fight for or advocate for anything, I definitely understand that. I understand that. No, I get that completely. Like,
did you know that in the great finality of it all, there is always something that is learned? Like sometimes everyone gives up on you.
This is like
or you drive them all away, and you have nothing but your own life to take.
Tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. over again.
How you have
Don't make me
nothing to
change
say and you
my
even suck
mind.
at singing.
No, I'm singing. I'm
And
singing
you're
your people's
literally
music. I'm
these are
singing
the
your
people
culture's
that
music. I'm okay.
Dude,
one
these
thing.
are the
I
people
don't
that
know
are
why.
voting for
It doesn't
fucking
even matter how
Biden,
hard you
dude.
try.
I would love
I'm just
to turn
trying
on
to.
your
I'm
stream
trying to
and look
connect
at
to
your
you by
chat.
singing your music. The
Dude,
depressed
what are
white
you,
music.
5 foot? How tall are you again, by the way?
I still see
5
your
foot
shadows
11?
in my room. Is that gonna? How do I speak to you? I'm
It
trying to
is.
understand how to get to you.
I
You're
just wanted
depressed,
to.
you
I
don't
just
really
wanted to know
believe in
how
much.
small your dick was when I hits in my mouth.
How can I speak to you?
Fucking it tonight.
Where is the love? It
Do you
just
shave
ain't the
or not
same.
shave? Do you
Always
shave your
unchanged.
asshole, or?
I'm just trying to understand, like, how can I reach you?
You're not gonna understand anything, buddy. Especially not by live streaming on fucking YouTube, having people call you up.
Okay, wait. I'm trying to think of what
You're
song's gonna
literally
connect to you.
You're losing
Guys, what
this
song do I
argument.
sing?
You're making yourself look like a fucking
What song do I sing,
idiot
guys?
on
Guys, what
YouTube.
song do I sing?
Singing.
Sad.
You know what you should sing? Outcast. Hey, yeah, do it right now. You
That song?
fucking
You like
suck.
that?
You can't even hold a tone.
I can't
Come
sing.
on.
You're right. I can't. Can you
You're
sing?
not
for me?
artistic. You're not even intellectually artistic, and you're not even actually interesting.
You're intellectually autistic. That's
I
pretty
think you're
powerful.
intellectually really, really like kind of silly.
I'm a goofy guy. What can I say, dude?
I know you're a goofy guy because you get dicks in your ass all every fucking night. So it's like, why wouldn't you be a goofy guy? When you get those dicks
Why
in
do
your
you
ass,
keep
you're just
thinking
like,
about
oh
that?
my
Why
god,
are you
yes, let me get
fantasizing,
those little
brother?
butterflies
Why
up
are
my
you
butt.
fantasizing? What's going on? What's going on?
Do
Hey.
you drink hand sanitizer too at nighttime?
Yes.
Really? And how is that working
What's
out
that
for
one
you? Do you
song?
distill
That
it
one
with
song.
it with salt to make sure
Open the
that you don't...
goddamn door. No. Okay, wait, not that song. It's the
I don't listen to your music, kiddo.
It was just a kiss. It was. Why did it end up like
I have
this?
no idea. That sounds like something you listen to, buddy.
Oh, I'm trying to think. What
Is it on
songs?
your little
Okay, what
fucking
songs
iPod?
can get to your
little,
emotions?
what are they called? The little
iPad kids.
No, the
Okay,
shuffle.
well, I hope you have a good night. Go
shuffle.
play some CS:GO.
Wait.
Do you play CS:GO?
Wait, I don't play PSGO, buddy. I play Warmane.
No, CS:GO.
CSGO? What?
Yeah,
What was it? 2006?
Well, yeah.
Where did you graduate, by the way, buddy? We'll put it all
Goof
into perspective
University.
here. No, when did you graduate? We'll put it into perspective.
I'm only 20. I'm only 19. I'm only 15.
You fucking loser.
I'm actually
What
40.
a loser.
I don't
Oh my
appreciate you
God.
insulting my culture, and for that, I'm going to
I
cancel
live near
you.
Amish people.
Censored.
You need to
No,
fucking
not
get
the
some work
Amish people.
done.
I love Amish people.
No, you
I
need to
love
get
Amish
some work
people.
done, buddy. You need
Yeah,
to.
I do. Okay, let's see. We gotta have some real conversations. Thank you to that caller for boosting our viewership for now, though. My stream's up on TikTok too. Please drop a like, hit subscribe. If you want to donate to Jolah Politics, please consider doing so. It was just a kiss. I tried connecting to his culture, but I guess I don't understand the culture enough. The culture that makes them lash out like they do. Howdy. Yeah, this is the politics thing. What's up?
I just wanted to comment on the last dude. He kind of sucked with his comeback, dude. Keep it up what you're doing.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. No worries.
All right. That great call. Great call. Really appreciate the confidence booster. I need all the support I can get, especially through Jolah Politics on Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo, and channel memberships. Thank you guys for watching. Everyone's calling now. I'll open up the call lines again. Okay, here we go. Call lines open. Call. There you go. Feel free. Have a good time. Call the number on your screen. Dial now. Hello?
Oh shit, I actually got through.
Yeah, what's up?
Is this the dude on the live stream?
Yeah, it's the politics. I sound different on the Google Voice. It's a shitty free service, so I probably sound different.
So, I just want to know, like why do you think Trump loves war?
He's very anti-diplomacy. He's anti-planning. He's treaty with other countries. So he always turns to using brutal force, both abroad and also domestically right now. His goal is to send the military in, even in America, to resolve any conflict. So due to that nature, I'd probably say he's pretty pro-war. And even right now, look how he's talking about Iran. He's talking like a prime George W. Bush was talking before we went to Iraq and Afghanistan. So.
Right. Yeah, I get that, but I don't know, at the end of the day, there's a lot of shit that I really don't agree with him doing. You know, like for example, changing the fucking name of the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
But you know, I kind of feel like, you know, it's fucking better to have, you know, like a leader, or you know, I don't know if you'd consider him as a leader, but you know, I think I do. You know, fucking.
I mean, think about leadership characteristics. This guy whines constantly. His number one response to a question is, "That was so unfair to me. You're so unfair. Everyone's so unfair to me. My whole life, you've been so unfair." He's the biggest weenie cuck on the planet. Like every time he talks, it's such cuck beta energy. He's cucked out by Israel. He's cucked out by Russia. He's cucked out by all these different conflicts. He said he was going to end all these wars. He never did. And you ask him a question, he lashes out and cries about it. So, I mean, he never takes responsibility for anything. The leaders in my life, you know, they may have made mistakes, but they own up to them. They take responsibility. Like, think about LeBron James or Michael Jordan or someone. Like, they usually have the team on their back. If shit goes wrong, they take ownership and they show the team how to do better. They don't just, like, fall apart and you know, encourage everyone else to put their heads down and give up.
Right. Yeah, I didn't vote for anybody. You know, I identify as independent, but you know, at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, like nothing's really gonna change. You know, like they're all just a bunch of fucking politicians. I guess if that makes any sense.
It depends what you care about. I mean, a lot's gonna change. It might not affect you right away, but a lot is gonna change. So, like right now, they want to sell off like 120 million acres of federal land to give to companies like BlackRock to develop private properties on and to sell it off to foreign billionaires. So something like that is insulting to me as an American. And I mean, Teddy Roosevelt talked about how big it was to maintain our beautiful lands in America. It's the national inheritance, and Trump is going to sell it off to billionaires from foreign countries who pay for citizenship through the $5 million gold card. So even that alone is such a stain on our nation, man. I mean, that shit is so sad to me. I don't know if you saw anything about that yet.
What's that? Explain that to me. Like I'm fucking 14.
So we have this land in America that's owned by federal government and then also by state government. And Trump wants to sell all of this beautiful land off to private equity companies to build resorts on, to give it to billionaires to build private compounds on. So all this beautiful land in America that's protected by our government is going to be sold off for very cheap to Trump's donors. And this is something that America's had for a very long time. And it's a pride of our nation. And Trump is just like ripping it apart and selling it off, like I said, for cheap. And he has a program where if you pay him $5 million, you get instant citizenship with no checks or anything. So now, think about it. Trump wants to let anyone pay $5 million to become a citizen, and they could come in from any foreign country, and he wants to sell off our federal land for cheap. What if those really rich people that can afford $5 million for a gold card, what if they then come in and buy this federal land up? And I know many people are scared about China buying land in America. But Trump is making the perfect pipeline to actually make that happen. So it's hard to explain these issues in a very like simple way at that level. But I'm trying.
Yeah. Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't want to come on here and just fucking argue with you, but you know, like
I appreciate it.
I don't know. I just do really kind of feel like he was the better candidate. You know.
I prefer non-cucks.
In all honesty, I mean, say what?
I prefer non-cucks. You know what a cuck is?
A cuck?
Yeah.
Like somebody who like watches his wife fuck another dude?
Yeah. Like Trump's a big cuck. Like he's a big cuck type of guy. He just is a cuck, you know.
Okay. By the way, there was something that I wanted to ask you, man. So
yeah,
like,
what's up?
So like, do you like fucking ketchup on a fucking hot dog too, or just mustard?
I like whipped cream, some ice cream on my glizzies. I always cream on my glizzies.
Put some sprinkles on there too, or no?
Whatever makes it go down is really all that matters, you know.
Hell yeah.
All right, have a good night, man. Thank you for the call.
Yeah, you too.
Peace out. Why are the calls tonight so stupid? What the hell's going on? All right, phone lines are open. Please drop a like and subscribe. I gotta get a new camera and an actual desk. I hate this setup so much. How is Trump a dictator for deporting illegals? Well, you're a racist scumbag if you call them illegals. These are my neighbors, brother. These are not illegal aliens. These are human beings with some paperwork issues, alright? And you should stop being a government cuck. Alright, you have really short. You seem young, so we're gonna keep this really short from your little message.
All right. So I have a question. Basically, on the political spectrum, I'm not really affiliated with like either side or nothing because I don't really like either. But if you were have to pick a side, would you go Democrat or Republican?
I mean, I want to say I could be in the middle, but right now Republicans are tied to no logic at all. They don't care about facts or anything. They just want to, be, servants to Mr. Trump. So I have to choose Democrats right now, because I don't like that.
Right. Because personally, I like Bernie Sanders because I feel like he has good policy and stuff. Because I don't support anything that's going on in Israel and that entire thing. Because I feel like it's wrong. Because my grandparents were in like Auschwitz and all that. So
yeah, well, yeah. Thanks for the question. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Okay. Lines open again. I almost got banned from TikTok for saying cuck too much, by the way. YouTube is pro cuck, so we're good. Howdy.
Hey. So, this is the Trump debate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I noticed that you said that like Trump loves war, right?
Yeah, and the reason I say that is just if you have no leadership, no ability to have treaties or compromises, and if you choose military over reason, then I think you're pro-war. And what he's saying right now about Iran, in my opinion, sounds like the Bush admin justifying going after WMDs in Iraq and Afghanistan. So.
Okay. I mean, I will admit that the Afghanistan war was a mess. I fought in the Afghanistan war. I will admit that it was a mess. But what I wanted to also say is you say that using the military against the American people. Do you know when the last time the U.S. military was deployed against, the last time the Marines specifically was deployed against the U.S. people?
I know. Okay, so the Marines against the U.S. people, it depends in what context and what year, because there's some times where it was justified and sometimes where it was not. When was the last time?
In 1992, the Rodney King.
Oh yeah, Rodney King, but that was requested by the governor and everything.
Yeah,
in
it
California.
was requested by the governor.
Yeah, that's the big issue.
Who do the Marines directly answer to?
Do you mean like commander-in-chief or?
Well, they do to the commander-in-chief, but at the same time, they are the only branch that can be dismantled by the U.S. people. So if you don't want the Marine Corps, vote them out.
So like the big issue, right, is just the local
And
LAPD. It's states' rights, right?
They're not going against anyone. Like they're not trying to fight anyone. You got to think about it.
It's not
Our military
them. I'm not mad
is
at them,
100% volunteer.
No, I'm not mad at the Marines. I'm not mad at the military. I'm mad at the commander-in-chief leading our military to a conflict or a possible conflict in the future with the American people. So just really quick, when the LAPD says we don't need extra help, don't send in the feds because the feds are going to mess everything up. They have a huge budget for LAPD, bigger than most militaries globally. When they say don't bring anyone, when the state says don't bring anyone, and the president says we don't care, we're gonna militarize your streets and try to, they said something like they're going to save the people of LA from their own elected officials. That is extremely authoritarian, and our government is founded on a separation of powers between like a National Guard, between Marines, and between what the state actually wants.
I can agree with that, but
yeah, that's the big issue.
Like, city falls under a state, right?
Yeah, yeah.
A state falls under a country.
Yeah,
So
but
federal
there's a
government,
separation of
state
rights
government,
there, right?
and city government are all separated. Federal
yeah.
government is at the top. Federal government can dictate what state government does, can dictate what city government does.
Not everything, right? Because you know, like
I
right
mean,
now.
it's going to be everything, and I agree with you on that. But what I'm saying is, right now, what we have going on, I'm not saying it's okay on either side. There's better ways to handle it on either side. I'm not saying Trump loves war, because what war has he led us into?
I mean, he I don't want to get into
We could say
the foreign
Ukraine,
conflicts.
but I mean, that's between two different countries. We can't say the U.S. is even involved in that.
Just really quick, the
weapons.
big thing in America, the big issue here, the scary thing, is we don't want the commander-in-chief to be able to politicize the military, have rallies where he's saying political things and the military is cheering, and then say we're going to militarize an American city because we said so. After every available information, intel on the ground, information at all, says we do not need National Guard, let alone Marines. And Trump is saying we're going to liberate the city. That is authoritarian language, and that is a huge violation of states' rights and local rights as well for the federal
how
government
much
to
of
militarize
California is already militarized?
LA. The point is the federal government doing this, okay, right, and federalizing troops. That's the dangerous part.
I'm saying how many military bases are already in California? How militarized?
Military bases are not actively sending out Marines to do riot control, right? That's not actively giving orders for that.
They can within a certain distance of the base. They can.
But the U.S. president telling them to do that, to go into a city and to be actively detaining people, is a violation of law, right?
The Marines are not detaining anyone.
They have detained a couple people already, okay, and they detained. You can Google it, but like. I don't think they truly arrested or detained them. I think it was more of just like you're walking in a zone that you cannot walk in right now. I don't think they really detained someone.
Yeah, the Marines have no right to detain anyone.
But regardless, right? Again,
back off.
It's scary,
they would
right?
ask for local force to help them.
But you don't want the president.
I did security forces for the Marine Corps. I did riot control for the Marine Corps in other countries. I know how it works.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the authoritarian thing, right? The separation of powers. I'm worried about that. That's my big concern here. Is if Trump can say for any city in America, if there's any protests of any kind, I can federalize the National Guard, send in 4,000 more people than they need. I can send in the Marines.
Yeah.
That's the scary part of Trump being able to do those orders.
He can say that, right? He can say that. But then you also have to look at, just hear me out on this. You have to look at that our military is 100% volunteer. Those guys, they weren't forced into military service. They weren't doing anything. Do you really think that they want to fight against U.S. citizens?
No, and I think, and this is one reason why Trump is bad for our troops. He's making a divide between the U.S. citizens and the military, and blurring the line between law enforcement and the military. And law enforcement is saying, don't bring in the feds; they're going to mess things up, including ICE. I think everyone, whether you're in the military or law enforcement, everyone should not like ICE.
To law enforcement, when over the last couple of years, everybody's hated law enforcement, demanded them to be defunded, demanded them to be underfunded, demanded them to have less control.
If you look at any polling numbers at all, Democrats support increasing police funding. Joe Biden increased police funding in L.A. and New York and Chicago. They all increased police funding. Defund the police was a very fringe movement that the right pretended like control the entire party because it was politically good for them. But no one was in favor of defunding the police on the left other than very cringe people that had no power in American government. That never happened. I mean, if I go to like a Bernie rally, for example, everyone says to the police there, thank you for keeping us safe. Every single person that walked in, because I volunteered at a couple, if you go in the real world and talk to people, I mean, they're very pro-police. And I'm just saying, like, I do trust local law enforcement much more. I think the big enemy is ICE. Okay, ICE is a lawless agency that's putting both... ICE is putting the National Guard, the Marines, and law enforcement in a terrible place. ICE is wrecking shit all throughout the country illegally and making all law enforcement in America look bad. I just think we should all be having concerns when they have, full masking on in unmarked vans and they're detaining American citizens now on accident and they're working lawlessly. That is something that should be frightening. No. So do you think the options are either have a surveillance state and a police state or open borders? Is there not a middle ground there?
No, I think we should have closed borders. I don't think we need to have a police state, but I think we should have closed borders.
So I said something about...
What did I say, though? Should seek asylum because
I want you to talk to me, though, right? I want you to talk to me.
Asylum from a war-torn country.
Well, that's not the only reason to seek asylum. But I'm saying I want you to.
Mexico is not at war. Canada
I want you to talk to me, though.
So no country is.
Brother, I want you to talk to me, though. I want you to talk to me. Okay, so when I talk about like these ICE agents who are many deputized individuals, but you can't really tell because they show no identification. They show up with unmarked vans and they are terrorizing communities. That is not good for the trust of the citizenry and people that have the guns and are representing the government, is it? Like, isn't that a bad thing to see in America for no reason? They're going in Home Depots dressed like they're in a special ops mission. Like, there's no reason for them to be doing this. It's not a high profile case. It's not going after a gang. They're detaining someone who doesn't have their papers correct, who's working at a Home Depot. Why are they doing that? Like, it just seems wrong in America.
I can't answer for ICE. I don't work for ICE. I'm going to say my wife is from Mexico, and I will say this. If ICE came in my house and tried to do anything, I would fight for my wife.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's the issue is, like, there's people impersonating ICE right now. They're impersonating ICE and assaulting women and detaining random people of color just because they look a certain way, and people are just saying, hey, I'm ICE, because ICE is not identifying themselves. So I think, yeah,
I'm starting to realize I clearly have not done enough research on this.
No, but like that's why the protests in LA started. The protests in LA started initially because ICE went in looking like a bunch of freaking gangsters, and
we can't call it a protest anymore. It's definitely gotten more violent than a protest.
It is 100% a protest. Okay,
and
so like,
I would say we can't say that it's a protest anymore. Maybe there are protesters out there that are just trying to do the right thing, but there are idiots out there.
Okay, I can ask you the big question though. I can ask you the big question. Okay, so if there's a peaceful protest of 10,000 people, and then 5 people set cars on fire, is that a riot now? Are those 10,000 people engaging in a riot?
See, that's the tough scenario.
Well, that's the Trump admin's argument, and I mean, by that definition, MLK was a rioter.
I'm gonna equate it to you, real quick.
Okay.
Because when I was in Afghanistan, I saw thousands of peaceful people. Right.
Okay.
Because the enemy was never direct. They weren't wearing camo. They weren't wearing uniforms. They weren't wearing anything. And then 5 people start shooting. How can you indistinguish? It's an impossible task to indistinguish. Yes, you don't want to hurt civilians, but yes, you want these guys to be detained or neutralized, however you want to say it. And it's, the people around them in the protest, what are they doing? They're filming. People are filming. They're not helping.
Well, there's videos of them. Actually, there are videos of protesters trying to stop businesses from being looted. There are videos of that, and protesters helping law enforcement. But this is the scary thing, right? Because if you listen to Donald Trump, okay, you would believe LA is in flames and they're all violent rioters, and
no, I don't
it's hard to distinguish them.
I don't believe either side. Honestly,
no, but this is the issue, though. Okay, this is the scary thing, right? Because they said this about Martin Luther King Jr. They said he was a violent rioter that should be hung because people did violence during his peaceful protests, and he called them out. But they still grouped MLK in with that. We can still see cartoons of when there were people saying MLK was a violent rioter, and I want to make sure we don't have Trump militarizing the streets and using our DHS.
There's both sides and a story in the middle. Right.
But there's a huge story of ICE doing illegal activities, terrorizing communities, a community peacefully protesting, a couple idiots doing dumb shit, and now the entire group is being labeled terrorists, and now the president is using that as justification to militarize an American city. That's the slippery slope, and the real slope we're going down right now.
I can agree with that, but
I appreciate you. I appreciate you engaging in this because it is a big issue.
I admitted I haven't done enough research, but I respect your views, and I'm not going to say that, I'm not a huge fan either way, Democratic parties. Biden was not there. I didn't think really he was really that much in control. Kamala, I didn't have enough information. I didn't vote either way, but Trump, I did believe would have helped our country a lot more with what I had been hearing at the time. And then when he got elected, everything just kind of switched and changed. And that's fine. It's going to happen. Everybody's going to go against, the media controls America. And that's the way it's going to be for however long. And I don't think we have freedom of press. We have freedom of speech. We have these rights, and they're there to protect us. But I will say, when all that comes down to suppress somebody or make somebody else's freedom of speech or anything like that less than someone else's, then we have some issues, and they need to be corrected.
I'll just say really, really quick. So you said your wife is from Mexico, and
she is.
I'll say so far, if you look up stories about this, ICE has detained American citizens for days or weeks at a time, putting them in cells, with no food or water, or on like a wet concrete floor with nothing to actually sleep on. American citizens that they just like did not believe because they were not white or they had an accent, so they just like detained them. Also, ICE is like going to immigration court hearings. So someone trying to go through the legal pathway, and ICE says, haha, buddy, we took away your legal status. You're illegal now. We're going to put you in a cage. So we have people working their asses off in America, or even American citizens being attacked by ICE, and ICE is a bunch of just like deputized assholes. That's why they have the masking on, because they have a lot of people that should not be doing this job, okay? And like, I would definitely recommend looking into this, and also if you have a chance to Google Palantir, run by Peter Thiel.
I'm going to tell you, when I said that I would fight, I'm not going to do it with weapons or anything like that. I'm not that stupid. I'm not a very
knowing your
bright
rights
man,
is big, right? Knowing your rights and everything
but
like that.
I
is a
know
huge
my
thing.
rights. I know my wife's rights. And, you know, we would fight it the legal way as best we could. But right now, we haven't had any issues with that.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, for the protests you're seeing, the reason they started is because, like, imagine this happened to your wife and a bunch of guys roughed her up. Even if they didn't detain her,
think about that.
like you feel a certain type of way about that, obviously. Yeah.
I do think about that. I do think about like what I've heard about ICE, and then what I've heard what ICE is, their mission is, what they're trying to do. And then I've heard about the FBI trying to do drug raids and then being told that it's illegal immigration raids, and they're not even trying to do that. You know, I live in a pretty big city in Tucson, or in Arizona. I almost said I said the name. I live in Tucson, Arizona. We had a protest here, and it was very peaceful. And there were a few idiots that got out of control. They were detained. They were arrested. And the rest of the protest was peaceful. Nobody blocked streets. Nobody was throwing rocks. It was, you know, I drove through going along the way to work.
It usually is.
I was totally okay with it. I had no issue with it.
Look up Palantir, by the way. Do you know Palantir?
Blocking roads and stuff, that's not peaceful. Once you start blocking people,
I agree. I just want to make sure we
freedom.
don't don't cross people and make the government come down on people who do not deserve it, who are exercising their right to protest. And like the No Kings protest happened, you did not see mass casualties or mass violence or whatever. And also just like I just want everyone to make sure they look at what's actually happening with like ICE. They're going after quotas. They want a high number of people. They don't care about criminality. Trump is deporting the highest number of non-criminals in American history, and it's not close. So like Biden deported 5% non-criminals or non-violent criminals or whatever, like non-violent people. But Trump is deporting 20% non-violent people. So they're going after everyone. They should divert those resources to go after, you know, trafficking and also criminals, but they just want to have a lot of deportations now, like a high score game. A little bit messed up. I appreciate the call, man. I want to give you the final word, though. I appreciate the call.
Okay, and I do understand. Like, I haven't seen the statistics, but I do know. I see it where I've seen videos where they're like, "We're going to deport this many people. We're going to do this," and I've seen that, and I didn't agree with that. Because you know, how can you prove that many people are all criminals? So I do agree. I see your point. I just was trying to make a point that I don't really believe that he loves war, maybe division, but I wouldn't say war, you know. I don't see it. But thank you for the chat, man. You have a good night, and I appreciate what you're doing. You know, keeping people on their toes, fact-checking people. I definitely realize I have a lot of research I have to do.
No, I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate you just saying that. People usually will just bullshit and make up shit. So I appreciate that you said you want to look into it more. So if you do look into it, you want to call back another time, definitely hop back in. Hopefully I could pick your number out randomly. But yeah, I appreciate the comment. Hope you have a good night.
You too, sir. Have a good night.
All right, see ya. You too, man. You too. Dun, 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 dun. Today is the day I follow my intuition. Okay, thank you for watching. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe. When has the host been fact checked? Yeah, come fact check me. Do it, bro. It's hard to fact check someone who cites only factual information that I verify. I welcome anyone to fact check me. I want to see your sources. What kind of crackpot shit you'd send me, bro? I'm trying to see that. I'm trying to see all that shit. What kind of? How are you gonna back up your positions, bro? I genuinely want to see that. That'd be a good time. That'd be a good ass time. Okay. Someone said not liking, not subscribing. What a freaking king, bro. You killed me right there. Got me. Got him. How you guys doing tonight? I'm probably gonna do my halftime and make another stream. for the second half of the stream. Take some more callers. Taking a little break. Their sources are, I know it, and everyone knows it. And yeah, I mean, they say, did you see that video on X of the people burning the car? That means everyone there was a violent rioter, dude. Did you see Trump's Truth Social and the AI video that they sent me about the scary brown people? We have to do a mass deportation program now. Can you go to Pakistan illegally and do business? Can you come to America illegally and do business? No. But you don't understand immigration laws because you're a brain dead moron. So I would not expect you to know that. I hate when people say shit like, can you just go to Mexico for asylum? It's like, I'm talking about the laws of America, you dumbass. Like, can I go to Russia right now and get asylum? It's like, bro, it's America. We're not those countries. I know you want it to be Russia, but like, if someone's bringing up Israel's borders, bro, like, what the hell are you talking about, bro? Republicans love debating every topic, but the actual topic they say they want to debate because they can't actually debate the topics they say they care about. It's really a conundrum for them. All right, let's do this. I'm starting a new YouTube Shorts. I'm gonna go until 2 a.m. probably. Ezra Klein's wife seems terrible, bro. Everything I've seen her write is just like void of humanity. Like, she's such a smug elitist. I'm sorry. But she really is such a smug elitist. Oh my goodness. Like, she's so annoying. I'm sorry, bro, but Ezra hides it better and has more of a vibe. But holy crap, the things she writes is so bad, dude. It makes me want to die. Okay, I'm starting a new stream. Ezra isn't gay. No. I'm starting a new stream. If you're watching right now, refresh my channel. There will be a new stream up in 5 seconds. I'm gonna end this one. Okay, I'm gonna end this one. Go to my new stream. I'm making a new stream for the second half of my stream. If you're calling, keep calling. I'll take your call right now. But I'm just restarting real quick. See you there. I'll be there.